I wonder what lives down here. Either way, my experience with the medical system was far from savory. I feel like it didn't treat me very well at all. So, I mean, I'm kind of lost in my time frame with a lot of this. It's all kind of a blur, but try and give it as best I can. So after I kind of hit that point where I was like, okay, I need to get this checked out, I went to the emergency room, sat there for a while, ended up getting a CT scan. The doctor said, I don't know, do you have a history of MS in your family? And I said no, but he said, oh, we just see a little white spot here. It might be nothing, I don't know, it's what we see. And so I just left, and that was whatever. Then some time goes on, and I get a new, even freakier, a new symptom arise where from like my tailbone, I could just feel it slowly move down, and I went completely numb from the waist down. And it was at that point that I ended up going to the emergency room again, and I can't even remember what happened there. I don't think anything new happened. They're just like, maybe we should get you to see a neurologist. And I was like, okay, cool, let's do that. So they ended up like booking something with a neurologist like a month out or something. It was a while. And then when I finally go and see her, she was basically like, hi, okay, cool, let's do a little test. Can you feel things? Well, anyway, stop smoking and I'll see you later. So I left there with no more. I know I had another proper appointment with her another while down the line, so I sat out until that point. And when I went and saw her the second time, she was just talking to me like, so you have MS, so with this. And I was like, well, we don't know that because we haven't done any testing or anything. I was kind of trying to fight that. And so at one point, it was towards the end of the appointment, I asked her, so what would you say about a private MRI? Because the one that she had booked in was like a year and a half in the future, and I didn't really feel like sitting and waiting for that long to figure out what the hell was going on with me. And she was essentially mocking me. She's like, I don't know why you would do that when we already know what you have. And I was like, well, we don't. And then she scoffed. She was basically saying, oh, well, I guess if you're rich, you can do that, which I wasn't at all. But I ended up having a buddy of mine started a little fundraiser, and we collected some money to get me an MRI. So I get my MRI, and when the results come back, it was like, well, there's things that line up with multiple sclerosis, basically saying you've got it. So that kind of broke me, because I was still holding on hope to not get that, because I had hit the internet pretty hard, and I realized that was the one thing that I did not want. And yeah, so that hurt. And I had finally gotten referred to the MS clinic, and that was another while down the line. And I know I had another emergency room visit where I was like, I think I might be having a stroke. And I can't remember when exactly that was, because again, I'm kind of hazy on the time with a lot of this stuff. But yeah, so what was I just saying? Yeah, I finally got accepted into the MS clinic, and when I got there, it was weird. He had a resident doctor come and give me a little checkout, you know, like poking my feet with needles, trying to see how I'm reacting to all this stuff. And then he ends up coming in, and I'm gonna paraphrase here, but he kind of came in and was just like, so I heard that you were quite an active person before this. Oh, that sucks. Essentially being like, well, you're not gonna get that back. And it was like, that was great. Thank you for that. I'm glad you could be so nice about this. And after that, all he could do was push the drugs. He's like, well, there's this one, you gotta do it every day. There's this one, do it once a month. There's this one, you get once a year injection. There's this one, which I recommend is the best one. It's only $24,000 a year. It's like, what? What am I supposed to do with this? And also, all that they did was like destroy your immune system. They're like, okay, so if you do this, you're not going to have an immune system, and we're going to have to rely completely on you being full of fucking immunizations and all that. And it was just, nothing about that seemed right to me. So I stood back on that. But what's crazy is a while down the line, I end up going to see my family doctor again. Like, I was filling out some form I needed help with, and she had gotten an email from the MS clinic saying, wow, this person really should have been here sooner. And it's like, I went to the emergency room 3 times. I paid for my own MRI. I did all this, and you're still saying, golly gee, he should have been here sooner. Like, and my family doctor actually got so angry at that, and I was like, thank you. Somebody's actually fighting for me, I guess, here. But what I'm trying to say is, I got nothing. And it really made me lose a lot of hope in just the system as a whole. It just felt like no one knew what they were doing, and they were just out there to push drugs on you. And I know that sounds a bit edgy to be saying, but having gone through the system the way I did, it's like I will stay away from the hospital as much as I can. Like, unless I have a broken bone or some sort of trauma wound, I don't plan on ever going back there. And yeah, it just sucks that I can see, like, I'd always heard stories here and there of people, I don't know, usually going through stuff with cancer and being like, oh, this is awful, they treat me like shit. I'm like, yeah, I kind of believe that, but until I experienced being treated like shit, it was like, this is kind of a broken system, isn't it? And I don't know how much good it is doing all that many people. But yeah, that was my quick little run around of how it felt going through the medical system there. Ooh. So, cheers.